morning to all of you. Welcome to NANOG 27, the third one here in Phoenix. To make some of you perhaps appreciate Phoenix a little better, let me bring up some weather. So these are the highs for today. We're expecting around 70 degrees here in Phoenix. Network diagram real quickly. We're using microwave again. So router on this end with Ethernet up to the roof using a Proxim Tsunami Quick Bridge 20, which is 5.8 gig. About 18 meg full duplex throughput. About 6 miles running from here to Deru Internet. So Deru is at the other end, downtown Phoenix. And from there, connectivity, DS3s and OC3s to AT&T, Sprint, Level 3, and Global Crossing. We have 802.11 around the hotel. We've had a couple of little problems. Hopefully Louis Lee is somewhere around here can help us configure some bridges. So we've got good coverage over here. We have some large antennas on the other buildings. Just so far not able to bridge across to them. So hopefully during this morning we'll get that solved. A couple of people I just wanted to say thank you to. Some of the folks from Ultra who came down from the Bay Area to help. My assistant Lisa, who you've seen I think the last two NANOGs that we had here in Phoenix plus this one. Then also Global Crossing for providing a couple of the routers. Deru for internet. Hyperwave for the microwave link that we have. Went up pretty quickly. You guys may want to have a look at that equipment and talk to Mike Jones. It's about $4,000 for the equipment that gives us the 18 meg full duplex. Really easy to put up, and in fact the one we have here, 5.8 gig is non-licensed, so very easy to set up and pretty reliable. Want to thank Sue for letting Merit come to Phoenix again. As I said, it's my third NANOG, and I'm quite happy to host these. It's not that difficult the more often you do it. If anyone's thinking of hosting NANOG, let me know. I'm happy to help you. It's really not that difficult. The theme may have been a little interesting for you. Obviously, networks have been under attack for a little while. This has been the year of the attacks, and the themes also carried across here at NANOG with the security buffs we have and the tutorials. It really wasn't meant to look at the world situation, but perhaps it's going to be prophetic in some way. Trace route for you out from the network. Hopefully you can read that using something else you may want to look at. If you go to geektools.com, you can download something called LFT, which is a real interesting trace route. Able to go to actually connect to any kind of port. Say if someone only has a port 80 open, you can make the traceroute packets look like they're web packets, or port 53 if it's a name server. This is out to the NSA, normal traceroute stopped somewhere in UUNet. This will actually be able to let us go through there, show ASs and also net blocks. And that'll give you an idea of what we're actually doing out of NANOG here. I think that's about it for me. A little bit of housekeeping. Restaurants, if you're interested, Italian restaurant called Tutti Santi, just across the road to the south. I don't have to open for lunch. I think someone said they weren't, but they're open for dinner. Really good Italian restaurant. Enchiladas, and then there's the Hole in the Wall restaurant just north of us here, and the Lantana Grill, which is on the southwest corner. That's about it for my side. What I think I'm going to do now is just hand over to Sue, who will officially start NANOG from Merit's point of view. And welcome to Phoenix.
Thank you, Rodney. I'm Susan Harris. Hi. For a lot of us, NANOG is home base, and that's possible because of people like Rodney. who loves helping us out, who has the means to do it. These are the companies he's been associated with over the past few years that he's hosted us, actually over the past 6 years. First time was 1997. We are just very grateful, Rodney. Thank you. The company Rodney is working with at the moment is Ultra DNS, our actual sponsor. He's already mentioned these other companies. We want to thank Deru Internet for providing our IP connectivity, Main Nerve for setting up logistics and licensing for the microwave link, and Hyperwave for actually installing the link to the hotel. And I'll modestly thank my own company. Merit Network is a nonprofit based at the University of Michigan. We operate Michigan's statewide network, MishNet, and we've been coordinating NANOG meetings since the beginning. And of course, due to the magic of real audio, many of my colleagues back in Ann Arbor are listening to the meeting, and I would just like to thank Debbie for watering my plants. Thank you. The other thing I'm realizing is that for the first time in the history of NANOG, Carol and Dawn are sitting out there, and they can actually listen to the meeting because the registration is right there. I think I have Carol's attention. The University of Oregon has been handling our multicast broadcast for 3 or 4 years now. The lead person on that has been Joel Jagley for quite a while, and he'll be talking to us tomorrow about his expertise in wireless networking. The other people who help us out with multicast broadcast are Cisco Juniper and Sprocket, who is not on this slide, but is Greg Shepard's new home. The Measurement Factory, in the person of Dwayne Wessels, has been working with us for a long time to set up our squid cache. Can you still hear me from back here? If I lean back? Can you hear me now? Oh, good. Dwayne sets up our DHCP server, and this time, for the first time, we're running a dynamic DNS server. This was done at the request of a couple of people who were unable to touch base through their firewalls with their home systems. With dynamic DNS, your home system knows your DNS name here at NANOG. So most of you, none of you have noticed that this is happening because it's invisible, but if you are interested, there's a very cool looking link off the main NANOG page with a little new button on it, and that will give you instructions for how to get at it through Unix, Windows, and I think Macs. Dwayne, thank you for that. Where is Dwayne? Yeah, hey, Dwayne's wearing the orange t-shirt here. Stand up for a second. If you have questions about this dynamic DNS stuff, there's your person. These are our beer and gear sponsors tonight. You'll have a chance to chat with them later. Chat and drink and eat with them. Thanks very much for providing that event for us. I do regret having to tell you that we're going to raise our registration fee as of the next meeting. We've been holding steady at $300 since the fall of '99, but with costs going up at the hotels, costs going up at Merit, and a very understandable drop in sponsorships, we don't see as many companies stepping up and offering to cover our continental breakfasts and breaks as we have in the past, obviously. But that does have an effect on us, so you will see this new registration fee going into effect next time, as well as our new outsourced system for charging your credit card, which means that you must know your corporate card address, which always freaks me out when I have to know it, but you'll need to know it when you register. You also will not be able to wait until the last minute to cancel. Not that any of you ever would think of doing that, but there's no grace period anymore. When you cancel, you'll need to pay Merit a little bit of money to cover our processing costs. Here's some stats. I know you're overwhelmed with how good looking this chart is. I did it myself. See, our numbers are down, our totals are down a little bit today. But if you look at the bottom of the chart, you'll see we've had just an amazing growth in the number of people from Spain, Nepal, and Poland. first time I've seen these countries. I assume the person from Nepal, whom I haven't met but would love to, is here representing NANOG, the South Asian Network Operators Group that met a few weeks ago in Kathmandu. "46% of you are either ISPs or network operators." Apparently that's a requirement because that's been true like for more than a year. That's the magic number. The other relatively interesting thing here is that content providers are showing up a little bit more in numbers. 3% of you are content providers, whereas that had dropped over the past year to 0. The number of women here is sticking, unfortunately, at about 9%. That's where we've been for a few years. But we were very present at enchiladas last night, and I do recommend the enchiladas. Thank you, margaritas. Whoa. I bravely sent out a message to all of our previous meeting attendees saying, what would you like to hear about? That was a good idea. I got many suggestions. Thank you. We got lots of speakers from that, and you will see a lot of these ideas reflected in the agenda today. Something new, we have a research forum starting at 4:30 today, give some researchers a chance to take advantage of what is unique here, and what is unique is that we bring together researchers, operators, and vendors. So give them your feedback, and you can follow them out to the beer and gear. That's why I put a little beer mug here, see? It's kind of relates, yeah. The other thing that we're doing that's going to be very cool this meeting is that we have session moderators. You can see why. We have session moderators from the program committee. They're going to be responsible for like various parts of the morning and afternoon. The one thing, hello program committee, we did not think about was that we should have alerted the speakers to this fact, because the speakers are used to dealing with me, my kind and gentle nature. But I want to tell you, speakers, that the program committee is here to help you. I am shocked to learn sometimes that some of you do not know that for all the past meetings, not just this meeting, the talks that we have received slides for and that we've recorded in real audio, they are on the web. Isn't that shocking? You go to the NANOG web, you go to the meeting page, you go to the agenda page, they're all linked off that. You'll notice today that the talks will become live as we go through the agenda. One last mention. Do remember that our wireless network, like most wireless networks, is insecure. Do not send a clear text password over the wireless net. We're not going to display them for you, but they're so easy to catch. Use something like SSH, and you'll find something about this on the web.